What's up, friendos, and welcome into Leading Off, the final regular season episodes of Leading Off. I'm Chris Welsh, the Welsh on Twitter at Is It The Welsh. That is Casey Bubba on Twitter at BDentric. We are here to give you these final episodes for prep, talking about how the season went, maybe a little bit of 2024 this week. That is what we have got, and it is all brought to you by PrizePicks. PrizePicks promo code Leading Off is going to get you hooked up. 100% match up to $100. Go and do that today. You can still prize picks. And guess what? You can prize pick it when baseball's done. You can prize pick it while there's playoffs. Prize picking doesn't stop when the regular season does. It just always keeps going. So sign up today. Use that promo code. Support the podcast. Just get some free money. Why not? Bubba, we are here. We officially made it. It's crazy that this is the final week of the regular season. Baseball, like fantasy teams, kind of done. I'm not a into the week or the into the season guy outside of like roto leagues and stuff like that. But this is it, brother.
This is it. I'm grinding. Got some teams in contention. Hoping the roto gods are in my favor. It's been a roller coaster the last couple of weeks, going up and down the standings. So yeah, the final countdown. We have made it. I'm not much of a marathon guy, as you can see if you're watching the video, but this is the last leg of the marathon, they would say.
Yeah, we got it. So what do you do in the last leg? Do you speed up?
Well, some people like have the runs. Other ones, go for a little extra electrolytes. Maybe have one of those like little jelly packs. I don't know, but yeah, it's all about pacing yourself, as they say. Pace yourself, and then go for the gusto.
I'm always surprised when I see like those races at the end. Like everyone's just, I know you're tired. Like, who am I to judge? You've ran like 10 miles or 15 miles or something. But like, why is everybody just not absolutely booking it? Everyone's still kind of pacing themselves. Like that last like tenth of a mile.
Last thing you want to do
push people.
Last thing you want to do is throw out your hammy or something on the last stretch because you changed your whole setup. They've been planning for this their whole life. Well, like you can't change things now. But I'm with you. Why wouldn't you go for the gusto? I'm with you.
Yeah, just do the whole thing. We got some of the peanuts and the Cracker Jacks. You guys have been with us all season long. Michael said, "Happy championship week. Final 3 episodes of the week. It's bittersweet. It is. That's right." You can also have awful things like Manny Machado. Play Manny Machado this weekend. After the news broke, he's getting surgery and might be shut down. That's a big question you got to deal with. Probably not. You're going to be playing with him. You will answer some questions if you guys want to throw them out here. We've got a few more questions we can get to for all of you guys that are battling it out. But whatever you got, this is it. Peanuts and Cracker Jacks. We got some good surprises for this week. We actually also have a time change for one show, which we'll tell you at the end. So let's get into right to the stuff. And I've got a Welsh and Corbin Carroll. We're going to have one today, one tomorrow, and then we're not going to have one Friday because I will most likely just pick the winner. I'll pick the winner for who's going to get that. And we've got the home run race, which is tight enough still. But when we get to Wednesday, if there's not a gap closing, I think we might be able to call it. So put your questions in the chat. We'll talk about that here in just a tiny bit. We've actually got some like real baseball based news that it's sitting out there. In that the Yankees have missed the playoffs for the first time since 2016. Oh, that's so sad. Are they going to be okay?
This is my sad face.
Yeah, you know what I like? I like as a fan of a team that doesn't win championships. There's kind of that like, especially the like really really good teams. Like Bogman's dealing with this with the Steelers. You have this moment when you get older where you're just like, will I ever live? Will I live the rest of my life to see my team win one more championship? And it's like, I don't feel bad for the Yankee guys. Yankees will be okay. The Diamondbacks, I think, actually were the eliminators. And it was also noted that there's a lot of change that's going to have to be made, at least at management was talking about. And as it should, they didn't get aggressive during the trade deadline, and they kind of had that youth movement going on. I think they can continue that youth movement. And really, the like core piece, I think, of being able to spend big dollars in certain areas and still be able to like go is that you've got to have 2 to 4 young good players that are financially controllable, and then you can build a few other pieces around. You just can't have, like 4, really like what the Padres have done. The Padres, it hasn't worked. Even though they have had some stuff that has worked in their favor, it just, the meshing hasn't worked. So the Yankees, maybe they go make one big move. Do you think they're going to make a big splash in the offseason, some type of trade, maybe consolidate some of the young guys? I think you got like, Jason for when he recovers. Pereira, Volpe. I mean, that's kind of some of that good youth core. Do you think they're going to make a big splash, or it's going to be more, financially controllable assets, but maybe just altering the bigger startable names?
I think it's altering the bigger startable names for now because of some of the contracts still on the books. And the big splash they wanted to make was Shohei Ohtani, and that's a little difficult to make at this point in time. So maybe they still go that route. I think they still kind of clean things up a little more, realize the Stanton deal ain't what it is. The guy can't run. Like, I think I might have a chance to beat him in a sprint right now. Like, that's how bad things are, and that's saying a lot. So it's a little rough there in New York. They got pieces there, like you mentioned. It's just about how do they build around said pieces. And I think it's, you get Judge and maybe play Glaber. He's actually worth it, people. Like, shocker, the guy's actually pretty good. And a couple of those type of pieces, let Hosmer go. Not Hosmer, let Rizzo go. Same bad luck.
I mean, about the same guy.
Once I said it's about the same Freudian slip.
Yeah.
Let Rizzo go. Eventually find a way to get rid of Stanton and go from there. That'd be my 2 cents on the one.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where we're lining up. Also, in the kind of playoff run news, the Atlanta Braves reach 100 wins for the second straight season, and I believe that was I read that was some type of record. It's an absurd team. I think it was only team to have 4 players of like 35 plus homers or 30 homers. Just some absurdity across the board. That also led me to want to take a look at the divisional stuff, because someone posted just a second ago about how the Reds are. What was it? Reds only 5 games this week, but the Reds being in that contention spot. So going over in the standings, you've currently got, when we pull up wild card, as Yankees are out, Braves are locked. In the AL, Tampa Bay is locked in, and they are actually literally locked in. They've got the top spot in the wild card. Toronto, Houston, Seattle are within about a game and a half of each other, it looks like. With it's 2, maybe it's 2 on, no, maybe actually Toronto has 2 on Seattle, but either way, these guys are all close right now. Toronto in their last 10 is 7-3. The Mariners are 4-6, and the Astros are 3-7. Those are all their last 10 record, but it is Blue Jays, Astros, with, I believe, the Mariners on the outside. So how do you think this is going to play out this week?
It's going to be tough because the Astros just got swept. Now they go into Seattle to kind of Seattle has their own fate in their hands because the Rangers did their damage last weekend. Rangers faced Seattle to finish the weekend. You want to not count the Astros out just because of who they are, but at the same time, they're fumbling. Their pitching staff is letting them down in a big, big way. So I think Toronto finds their way into this, surprisingly.
Toronto's in a really good spot, being 2 games up, and also throwing out to you, the Astros and Mariners are playing each other this week. And today,
3 today, and then the Mariners play the Rangers to finish it off. So the Mariners they hold their own destiny. Let's put it that way. Astros coming off a sweep over the weekend. Mariners got swept by the Rangers. I'm going to go with Toronto, Texas, and I'll take Seattle. It's the 3rd wild card. That'd be my 3.
Why do I not have the? I don't have
Tampa Bay is a wild card. Never mind. So it's gonna be Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I was about to say, because Texas is
Tampa Bay,
Texas
Toronto.
Is locked in.
Give me Tampa Bay, Toronto, and I'll take Texas. They should still be in it.
Well, Texas they have the West, I think. So
because that's all a mess too.
Yeah, Tampa's locked. And Houston could, I guess, come back and push, because I think they're 2 back from let me take a look from Texas, because in the West,
I'm saying the West hasn't done
2.5. Yeah, so Texas is up 2.5. So something could happen there. I don't want to say that it can't, but right now it's Tampa Bay locked, and then you have 2 spots between the Blue Jays, Astros, and Mariners. And Mariners are the furthest back.
Blue Jays and Mariners.
Blue Jays and Mariners.
Blue Jays and Mariners. But how crazy would that be? No Red Sox, no Yankees, no Astros in the same postseason.
That's what we're looking at right now. I mean, they are officially eliminated. There are no Yankees. There are no Red Sox.
I'm a fan.
Yeah, this is pretty good. This is definitely pretty good. I'm going to go with the Astros and the Blue Jays. I think the Astros are going to take that this week.
It's hard to count the Astros out just by experience alone, but that pitching staff's been brutal.
Okay, so over in the NL, you've got Philly, they haven't officially locked it, but I think tomorrow, they could lock it tomorrow, because I don't think they played today.
No, they don't.
So I think they could lock it tomorrow with a win, because they're up 5.
And they get Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and that's a great matchup. The Diamondbacks play today as a makeup with the Yankees, and they are in 2nd in the wild card, and they are a half a game ahead of the Cubs. So a win, they could be a full game above. And then you have got the Marlins and the Reds that are, I mean, between the Diamondbacks and the Reds, there are 4 teams with 2 win differential that are vying for 2 spots. So right now it's Diamondbacks, Cubs, Marlins and Reds are on the outside. Padres and Giants haven't officially been eliminated. So what are you going to go with for the wild card?
I like the Cubs for sure. Just something about them right now. Then it comes down. Then it comes down to Diamondbacks and Marlins. And what was the 4th team?
The Reds. The Reds are the furthest back, though. The Reds are like
the Reds are in trouble. Give me the Cubs and the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, I mean, Diamondbacks are second in the wild card right now. You're like, nah, maybe the Diamondbacks.
Well, just because the Diamondbacks will find they have 7 games. I don't know. Outside of Kelly and Gallen, we saw Gallen on Sunday. Kelly goes today on Monday. It's been shaky in that rotation as well.
Well, if you guys all realize, if the Diamondbacks hold the top spot, I mean, Phillies have like the top spot, but for what the wild card matchup would be, if the Diamondbacks have that home game, Bogman's coming out here, and as long as the tickets aren't some absurd amount, I'm going. Bogman and I will be going to that matchup. So, like, if the Diamondbacks and the Cubs make it, and the Diamondbacks are on top, Diamondbacks host the Cubs. We'll go to that play-in game. Good. Which should be funsies because it is a play-in game, isn't it? Or
no, I guess it's a best out of 3.
I guess it is a best out of 3. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's why the top 2 seeds get like a 5-day bye before the NLDS starts.
It's crazy. The whole process is weird, but that's
nuts.
Yeah, I know. That's what that ends up looking like. But that's not the only thing we're going to be talking about. A couple just performance-based things, and then we are going to talk about some hitters and some pitchers for you guys to look at this week. I know that's something that obviously is dominating the chat because you guys are making your last little pushes here. Just want to point out, I thought this was fascinating. Mookie Betts set a record 105 RBIs out of the leadoff spot this year.
Impressive.
Mookie Betts also playing second base, qualifying at second base next year. I guess we don't need to keep going on about like where does he get drafted and stuff, but you think about how he bucks the trend of the deficiencies that leadoff hitters can have by having over 100 RBI, and he's qualifying at what is, I don't know, I think it's actually a better position. I'm currently in a early mock draft we're doing for in this league. And then, you've now added like Nico Horner qualifies, Hassan Kim. They make that position a whole lot better. Second base has gotten better. He's just like so much better. Mookie Betts is definitely like top 5 at worst if you're just looking at what he's done this year. And I want to get your take on this, because I know you've been very anti-Vlad. Vlad hit 2 homers in a win over the Rays, and I believe I must have deleted my thing, but I believe it's 6 homers in the month of September, which is the most he's had in any given month so far this season. Is Vlad coming back, Bubba?
Not for me, no.
Did you almost die?
Yeah, that was Vlad stabbing me in the back right now.
Oh my God, you almost died because of the Vlad question. He is back officially.
Vlad is a good player. My thing with Vlad is he's not worth the ADP people want to draft him at. That's my issue. If Vlad was a round 3 player, I'd be interested. You have to pay a late round 1, early round 2 price to get Vlad Guerrero Jr., and I'm not into that. So that is my concern with Vlad. And he doesn't even have 30 home runs. He's not doing what's necessary for a top-end pick.
Okay, so you okay? You all choked up here.
No, I got all choked up on it. I had to stand my ground.
That's going to be one of the best debatable things in the offseason is going to be talking about, what these values are going to look like, because, the argument on Vlad with the cost and production to this year, I think it's going to come to a head in the offseason. I don't think we're going to see those same costs. I'm trying to remember where he went in my early mock, but I don't think it was in the top 2 rounds. It could have been at the end of the second, but I think we could get into like 3rd round. It's okay. The only problem is we were in the 5th round of a 15-team roto, and Christian Walker is still there. And it's like, if you lay out Vlad in the 3rd, and I don't know where Vlad went. I think he went in the 3rd. We'll break it down. But if you have Vlad in the 3rd or Christian Walker in like the 5th, I don't think you can make that case that Vlad is a
Christian
good deal.
Walker is pretty darn close. That's why that's my anti-Vlad stance, because it's not like he's no Freddie Freeman, he's no Matt Olson, like he's no Pete Alonso. There's a drop off, and then he kind of gets the Christian Walkers of the world. There'll be other guys we'll be able to break down that'll be more similar than I think people think when it comes to Vlad.
Yeah, Jason said, if I can get Vlad early second, I'm all over it. He was nearly a top 5 guy 2 years ago.
2 years ago was great.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem is it was 2 years ago. We're not saying like he was a top 5 guy like 2 months ago.
He had one great season 2 years ago.
I mean, I'm still a supporter.
He's a good ball
of Vlad
player,
long term.
and he helps big guys around the world keep their hopes alive. So I'm a fan.
Yeah, Fabi said he traded Matt Olson for Fatimir. I don't know why that made me laugh.
I want a jersey with the 27 J's that says Fatimir on the back.
Fatimir.
I want that jersey right now.
I think we could come up with some pretty good names on that. So, keep those in your brains because that's what we're going to be doing. Also planning to do off-season content here on Fantasy Pros with some dynasty stuff. So those are the type of things we got to be looking at because that one hurts when you look at Matt Olson versus Vladimir. But, you talk about age. I don't know. There's a production that depletes age, extra years of production, like the production that they can have over 3 years, regardless of age versus the extra years you get. There's a math equation that breaks those apart. And, that's what goes down. That's what goes down in all of it. All right, let's take a look at some streaming, hitting, and pitching options for the week, because I think that might be the best approach for any of you guys that are just, I've seen some of the questions that are just desperately grasping at it. And actually, what we can do? Let's answer some questions because I think there might be a couple of those in there. Let's see. Going here. Lee asked, does Hunter Green get 2 starts? He's
scheduled for 2 right now.
Yeah, he's ascending. He's scheduled for 2, but they've only got 5 games. I would say no. I would say if they get eliminated, if they're like out midweek, I don't know why they would push. And I don't think he can get 2 with only 5.
Well, what they're doing is that off day, they're just skipping someone in the rotation because they've been doing so many bullpen games lately. They've been a mess. So it allows him to be on regular rest still.
And if you wanted the extra innings, I mean, there's an argument
because he missed that time on the IL. So I think they might want the innings is what it comes down to.
Okay, so there's a higher probability. It's just I don't think I could count. So what would you say? Would you say like 60% yes?
I'm leaning coin toss 50-50.
That it works 60% of the time. It works.
I'm starting him in my weekly league, just even for the first game where he's at Cleveland. I'll take my chances there, and if he somehow gets at St. Louis, that's gravy. So I'll take it.
Okay, I don't see any other like this week question. This was one that Lee followed up. Pitching choices: start 2, Maeda versus Oakland, Clevenger versus San Diego, or Hunter Green starts 2, and then Skubal versus Kansas City. So he can start 2. Boy. What are the Hunter Green matchups? Because I want Skubal versus Kansas City.
At Cleveland, at St. Louis for Green.
Those aren't the worst. No. Just the strikeouts in Cleveland don't happen
I want Skubal and Maeda if those are your options.
Yeah, and look at our boy Joe Rico. Look at Joe Rico. What's up, Joe? You must love that Blue Jays conversation. Maeda coming out of the bullpen. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with I got to start Skubal. And I'd be cool with just keeping Hunter Green in there just in case it happens. I don't hate the Cleveland start, but I just don't think the strikeouts are going to quite.
Yeah, right now, actually, Maeda isn't even versus Oakland. Like Joe said, he's coming out of the bullpen. It's Ober, Pablo Lopez, Sonny Gray in Oakland. Maeda's tentatively scheduled for at Colorado, but if he comes out of the bullpen, he could be just getting a few innings before the postseason, guys. So you might want to go with Hunter Green and Skubal.
All right, so here are some Tuesday streamers that I have thrown out there. I have 4 on the list, and maybe we could just rank them. I mean, if there's one that you want to eliminate, please feel free to eliminate. There's not a whole lot going on today. For Monday, there's not a ton of games. There's actually the Diamondbacks game is going to be starting in 10 minutes as we're doing this live. But here are your Tuesday options. Reese Olson, Kansas City. Reed Detmers, Texas. Ryan Pepio at Colorado. Bailey Ober versus the A's. I think those are varying degrees. I totally understand that some of you guys are not going to have these guys available, but in varying degrees of what probably is available, those I think are the top options. I feel like we've talked a lot about Pepio. We've talked a lot about Reese Olson. Detmers doesn't have the best matchup in the world against Texas, and Bailey Ober could be a little bit more of a wild card, but it's against the A's. So how would you rank these in order? And you can tier them as well if you want. How would you rank these if you were trying to get a Tuesday starter in?
Bailey Ober and Reese Olson. I go Ober, Olson, and those two I'd want definitely. If you can add them to stream on Tuesday, stream them. I'm still a huge Pepio fan. I have him 3rd. I'm not that worried about Colorado and Coors, but there always is a slight Coors concern. But so I have Pepio 3rd. Detmers in case of emergency break glass, just because Texas is on fire right now, and we see when they streak, it gets nasty. So he's very good. Could he do it? Yes, but I'm going to be very cautious with that one.
Yeah, I'm actually a little bit different than you. I am Detmers at the bottom. Like Detmers is more of a desperation
So we're
play.
same there. Yeah.
I am going to put Pepio at the top, and I'm going to not worry about Colorado with the Dodgers pitcher. I'm going to put Reese Olson at 2, Bailey Ober at 3, and I think those 3 are in their own tier, and Detmers is in a tier below. So if you can get any of those guys, I am trying. And I guess there's also a question of like even if you didn't like really need it, would you actively want to throw these guys in? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
would you want?
If you didn't need it, I'd do the must start guys. Otherwise, I'd leave it all alone.
Okay. And then, so Richard said Olson. So we got lots of different varying degrees here. Olson, Pepio, Ober. That's just kind of where it goes with these guys. But Pepio has been one of those guys that we've been trying to lean on. It's just a destination bad spot. Yeah. It's not like that lineup is good. That lineup stinks. It's just the destination everybody worries about, Colorado. So I don't think so. Angelo put this in. I thought about putting Braxton Garrett, but I kind of don't. Am I wrong to think that he's more owned than Pepio? I didn't.
He should be more owned than Pepio, but if he's available, I would start Garrett immediately.
Yeah, I think so. I think I would do that. Yeah. Wednesday, I found one viable one that I really think is owned. So you tell me something different. Brandon Pfaadt versus the White Sox. So is this one that you could throw it on Wednesday?
If you need it, it's a great matchup. Yeah, because I'm streaming through the scheduled starters right now, and there's not a ton that.
No.
Like Wade Miley's actually been decent against St. Louis, but I don't love it.
I don't hate that one.
Adrian Hauser throws Tuesday. He's actually been really good of late. People hate Adrian Hauser. So the Milwaukee starters could be good. But other than that, there's not much. I guess the homer in me, I'll throw this one out there. And if people listen to me long enough, they know my hatred for Sean Manaea. I at least acknowledge that I'm wrong. He's pitching very, very well right now. And he's actually starting for the Giants, and he gets San Diego. It's risky. But that just shows you that Wednesday does not have a lot of great streamers.
I love Richard said it wouldn't be an MLB season without Welsh recommending Pfaadt in the last week of the year. Double down, baby. I love it. I know. Pfaadt's been a little bit better. Pfaadt's problem.
Wait. I want someone to play that clip back for you. Your voice changed so much. A little bit better.
Like a little bit better. You know what the problem is? He has an inning that it all falls apart. Like he'll have
Aaron Nola syndrome.
Yeah, 100%. He'll have like 3 innings where you're like, this dude is really good. And then he'll have this one inning where it's like, and it just ruins everything. And that's not what you want at this point. So I don't know. I think if you were adding, you had Hauser and Miley, how would you rank those with Pfaadt? How would those 3 rank?
I'd have both the Milwaukee pitchers over Pfaadt personally.
Okay. So, I mean, there you go. That's how, is it a double header?
No, Hauser pitches Tuesday. Miley pitches Wednesday.
Oh,
Sean Manaea is the other Wednesday guy. So I'd probably have it Miley, Pfaadt, Manaea.
Miley's a little probably safer for like the ratios, but yeah, I mean, Beef, you're not wrong. I mean, Pfaadt's kind of stunk. He's kind of been stinky, a little bit stinky. Last other little questions that we're throwing out here. I actually had put him on the sheet and then I took him off just because it felt so out of place. But Richard had said, where does Lane Thomas go in redrafts next year? Because he just locked in a 2020 season. I mean, Lane Thomas is so trippy. I think fun enough, he will still be a not 100 player, and that's going to make him very viable. But I mean, do you think he can break the top 100 being a 2020 guy? I don't. I think he'll be like 125, 150.
He'll be a top 100. He'll be the Randy Arozarena of the world. This is what he is. That stat line is very similar to like a Randy Arozarena, which is usually around 4 pickish, around 4 or 5 picks. So Lane Thomas will enter the conversation for sure.
Oh, you really think he'll be a top 100?
Yeah, I personally do. I think he's got that top 100 appeal for sure. Give me some time here. I'll try to find it.
Beef said Lane Thomas or Spencer Steer next year. I think it's got to be Lane Thomas.
Lane
right
Thomas
now.
For me for sure.
I love Spencer Steer. I actually think like long term, I might like Spencer Steer a little bit more, but I think it's got to be Lane Thomas.
I'm with you there too, because my biggest concern with Spencer Steer is when the Reds are healthy. Look at how they're platooning now. That's not going to change next year with all the talent they have.
His name's annoying. Spencer Steer. Hello, everybody. I'm Spencer Steer.
The bright side, if he plays a lot, they can make like some kind of like hamburger special every time or something because of the Steer.
Yandy Diaz, top 100 player from Richard.
For me, he's not, but he will be because there are some that really love Yandy Diaz and they're full believers in his production. That's not me though.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, here is your hint for where Corbin Carroll and myself are this week. This will be a math question for everybody. X plus Y equals 100. That math equation will get you to the answer. X plus Y equals 100. Solve for X, solve for Y. That should get you to what the answer is today. So put your guesses in. I'm making it very hard.
Equals 100.
Solve for X and Y. Those should get you to what the answer is today. On the injury front, Charlie Morton to the IL with a finger injury, so he will not be eligible for the NLDS. One that's not on here as well, is Caminero going to be eligible now that like Brandon Lau had a whatever with his knee? There's like a fracture or something. Like there's a ton of injuries. I think the Rays are going to make him eligible, which is wild. So that's another one. Like the whole ineligibility due to injuries and the eligibility that's popping up is kind of getting funky. Mike Trout officially out for the season. You want to know a fun fact? Got Mike Trout in the 5th round of our 2024 early mock draft.
I'm actually looking at the too early DC. We did the 15-teamer. Mike Trout was the first pick in round 6th.
Was he the 6th round? Okay, I thought I was getting a deal when I took him in the 5th round.
It's probably even higher, so you probably got a deal still. And Lane Thomas did not get picked in the first 7 rounds. I'm surprised by that. I think that changes. I think that changes because Rosarena was in round 3.
You really think they're that close?
Just if you look for 2020 production guys, and I think Lane Thomas might have a better batting average than Randy Rosarena.
Luis Robert. It'll be interesting to see. Luis Robert.
Cedric Mullins went in round 4.
You see, Mullins stuck around. Mullins is still around in mine. Mullins is like in the 5th round.
But I think Lane Thomas and Cedric Mullins could be a discussion point.
Yeah, and I think also identifying the players that like when you can identify like the similar statistical guys with like big gaps, that's where you can find the value. So it becomes tough sometimes when you're like, all right, well, I'm not going to take Cedric Mullins because I can get Lane Thomas later.
That's true.
Like inherently, that's what it is. But at the same time, it's like if it's all dependent on taking that one singular player, then you're setting yourself up. So I think it's better to like identify, okay, here's like a couple guys that are better, that are as good as this player that's in the 3rd round. And it really kind of becomes like, is Randy Rosarena a little bit overrated on value? If there's like 3 or 4 guys that are putting up similar production that are happening a lot later. But that'll be the big stuff off season. Luis Robert, we've had this question come up like multiple times in the episode in the chat. Luis Robert, day-to-day with a knee injury after a bad slide into second base. That's as best as we got for you. So I don't know. It's day-to-day. Hopefully he's going to get in soon. Maybe if it's not, because I don't think they play today. I think it's tomorrow. I mean, I think that actually gives you a good sign for him to play tomorrow, but it is riskier if you guys are in your weekly start leagues and you have to eat it. It's a bad slide. Day-to-day with a day off makes me feel like he could go in on Tuesday, but if you got a better option, maybe go with that. I mean, Brandon Vaught, he does stink, and you're going up against him on Wednesday, so that might be good, but I would feel a little Ketel Marte, day-to-day with a stomach bug. He's got the bubble guts. He's got the little bubbly guts.
Got the bubble guts.
Have we looked? I think he might be in the lineup today.
No, he's not. He's off on Monday. They're expecting him back Tuesday. He's back in the clubhouse Monday.
Yeah, so he's just got to be close to a bathroom. He's got that little stomach.
Pretty much. So he's in the dugout next to that little door in the back corner there. That's where he's going to be.
Yeah, little stomach buggy. 3 up and 3 down. 4 players had multi-home run games yesterday, but they're not all the same. Vlad, Bubba. Choked up. Marcus Semien, Nelson Velasquez, and Birdie. And I had started to put some hitters on here. Nelson Velasquez is one of those guys, if you're looking for a hitter. I mean, we've talked about this for weeks, but like that's one of those guys that you can, if you're looking for those power numbers, you can 100% look at. And he had multi-homers, and John Birdie had them, which is just like a total.
Don't count on that to ever happen again.
Yeah. I mean, it's a total
anytime soon, at least. Yeah.
2 players had multi-stolen base games yesterday. One is Estoy Ruiz. The other, though, Xavier Edwards, who also went 3 for 4. And that's his game. His game is to get on base without really big power. And then that is to steal. And that's what he's done since he was in high school. So you're looking for cheap stolen bases. Edwards is probably, you go 3 for 4, you're going to buy yourself more playing time in the week. that might be somebody to take a look at if you're trying to get some stolen bases. And someone I've been talking about for some time, and it got kind of wonky-ish because he was put into the weird opener setup guy, like how they're just adjusting all these starters. But Christopher Sanchez, he went 7, gave up 2 earned runs, and struck out 10 yesterday, which is a huge performance. And also payoff for the conversation that we've had about like, hey, if you can get a guy that is still giving you good ratios and maybe could go 4 innings and get you the win, well, there you go. He was able to do that. On the down, Hunter Brown ruined your probably your week if you did it. Probably knocked you out. 3 innings, 6 earned runs, gave up 4 homers. Brian, not woo, but was not good. He went 3 1/3, gave up 6 earned runs, 11 hits, and 4 homers. And Tristan McKenzie, hopefully you didn't put him in coming off a rehab, which really most pitchers don't get that from me. He went 1 2/3. He walked 6 and gave up 3 earned runs, Bubba.
Yeah,
those are not good numbers.
I wasn't going to start Tristan anyways. He's supposed to start again this week. They literally just wanted to get some big league reps out there right now. Nothing worth really getting too excited about.
Not really. Get excited about PrizePicks right there. You can do that. Promo code leading off, 100% deposit match up to $100. You can prize pick with us. You got lots of options. You can have free money to play with, and maybe you could put together. I mean, we do like 3 legs here, but you can do a 6-legger that's got huge payouts. They just like times 6, times 10, times 20. Do it today. PrizePicks. What are you prize picking for Monday? There's not a ton to prize pick.
We got 3 games to pick from because the D-backs game starts any minute. I went Webb and Snell combined Ks over 12. I like that one a lot. Marcus Semien over 7.5 fantasy points versus Patrick Sandoval, and Corey Seager over 8 fantasy points versus Patrick Sandoval. So yeah, not a whole lot of ways to go.
Nah, it's not super good. I went with Blake Snell strikeouts 7.5. I love that today. I actually kind of like this one. I went with Luis Castillo and Justin Verlander, Nerfy, no run first inning. Usually when I do this, though, Verlander screws it. So one of these guys will screw it. And Marcus Semien to score a run. I believe he's done that in 3 of his last 5. So Marcus Semien, run, Castillo, Verlander, Nerfy, and Blake Snell over strikeouts, which he has done for 4 straight weeks. And I'm assuming they think he's just going to be pared back and won't do that. In the betting market, it ain't great. I will tell you it's too late now, but I loved Corbin Carroll's total bases. It was 1.5 plus 140 today for 1.5 total bases. But I also like the, I guess I have the Diamondbacks too. I'd still be comfortable live betting the Diamondbacks money line, and Blake Snell strikeouts, I guess, is really my only true bet for you podcast listeners, with 7.5 over. So that's going to be my big bet today. And it's not juiced too bad. What about you, Bubs?
I took Houston, Seattle first 5 under 3.5 plus 110. You can do a 4.5 juiced if you like, but I took the plus money. And then we're going back to targeting Patrick Sandoval. Give me Mitch Garver hits, runs, and RBIs over 1.5 at minus 105. Same with Adolis Garcia over 1.5 minus 105 on both. But yeah, it might be a night just to sit out type thing.
Speaking of, like, are you going to get into the DFS tonight?
No, I will not. I mentioned it. There's 3 games. I'm not a big fan of small slates, especially when they're of this magnitude. But if you're feeling like you are, Blake Snell at 9.6 should be owned everywhere. Logan Webb at 7.9 if you want to use both pitchers in the same game. 0 problem with that at all. And then if you want a cheapie, John Gray at 6.4K. Stacks, you got Texas versus Sandoval, Angels versus Gray, and you could go Seattle versus Verlander if you want to get sneaky. There really wasn't a ton of value when I looked at the slate either.
All right. Where in the world are Welsh and Corbin Carroll? We've had doing the dumb math thing is hilarious because everybody is like battling it out and trying to find different equations that make it work. I probably should have given you one of the X or the Y, but there's a reason that I didn't. So where in the world have we gone? You're about to find out. Traveled so many great places. We're going to have a review on Friday of all the great places that Corbin and I have traveled because our travels are almost done. Season's almost done. They're going off to the playoffs. We're not here to share all the exploits, but I gave you a math problem and I only gave you one. This is kind of an impossible one, but you had to be really slick with it. X plus Y equals 100. So you know the outcome number was 100. So what were those other two variables? What were those? And how does that give us the answer, Bubba? Well, do you have a guess? What X and Y were?
No, like the Giants score or the Dolphins scored 70 points is where my head would start, but I have no idea.
They did. You're right about that. Well, we had the mathematicians that were in the chat. Somebody had like the 40. They had a 49. They had like beef was like 60 steals, 40 homers. The answer is Acuna. It is not Acuna, actually. People were going in. They were doing Miami, Denver. I mean, they're doing everything you were talking about. Dolphins, Niners, all of that. But a few of you are going to have some bad blood when this is all done.
I knew it somehow to be Taylor Swift, but I didn't know the angles to it.
Because look at us. Hey, we got a selfie. Me, Corbin, and Taylor. We're the best friends that 3 people have ever had. We're a wolf pack now.
Can you explain
We're the
to me
3
the
best
X and Y
friends
axis,
that
though?
anyone's ever had. The 3 best friends. What's that?
Can you explain to me the X plus Y thing? Because I have no idea what Taylor Swift.
Well, Travis Kelce is 87, and Taylor Swift with her number 13 on everything equals 100. I could have given you 13, but look at us. She's so happy to see us. She's like, hey, I know that's the Welsh. And Corbin's like, this is the Welsh. They were so happy to take a picture with me. It's the 3 of us here. We just stood up. We were right outside the box. We had a great time at Arrowhead. Taylor Swift, Carol, Welsh, no Travis Kelce in sight. That's where we went. We were at the Chiefs game. And a couple people did get that. Somebody put it in. Someone knew like 100% got it before I could even say anything today. Where was it? Just see. Michael. Well, Michael had said, just ask your pal Corbin for some Taylor Swift box seats. Richard nailed this. X is Travis, Y is Taylor Swift. Together they equal 100% chance of a bad breakup and hit album in the future. Sabo, Kelce plus Swift. So a couple of you guys.
I had a feeling you were going Taylor Swift's route, but I didn't know how you were getting there. That's where I was confused.
Yeah, exactly. Vapors, but Eiffel Tower that's in there. It makes me laugh. Oh, buddy. Yeah, Angelo, you said you were the one that you had said it like right before. Like we hadn't even done anything on the show. So that's where we were. A little bit of bad blood. Final up here, some home run calls. I actually have the home run board. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if there's anywhere else we can go. I don't know if this is going to adjust. There was no movement this weekend. Wonky is having an insane season. Wonky is at 7, is 1 homer away from 50, which is incredible. Blue Harvester is at 60 in the lead. JJ Tater is behind 55. You're going to have to make it up. And JJ Tater's going to have a few homers and hope Harvester gets some misses. Otherwise, Blue Harvester has taken that beautiful custom FantasyPros home run champ inscribed Corbin Carroll helmet, courtesy of FantasyPros, courtesy of Sid's Graphs, and courtesy of me, because it is sitting right here and I have to ship it out. So that's all that's going to be going on. So there you go, my friends. What do you think, Bubba? Who are you going for your home run call today?
My home run call today, short slate. Give me Adolis Garcia.
Dude, I almost forgot about this. Do you remember the last show when I took Aaron Judge? And then I think you shamed me. And I was like, oh, screw it. I'll take Corbin Carroll. And Aaron Judge hit 3 home runs in that game. Would have put me at like 46. Oh, my God. What a dummy. I do that so much. I do that so much. I'm going to go with Marcus Semien. Marcus Semien's going to be my pick for today going up against Patrick Sandoval. Semien's hitting 375 against him in the career. Let's get a little BVP action. What a brutal blow. Note for Wednesday, we are going 30 minutes earlier this Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern, not 12:30 p.m. Eastern. So set your clocks. Make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you're notified so you'll know 30 minutes earlier we are going. And then the final show, we are going to be doing awards. We're going to talk about some fantasy awards. Might have a little surprise or two. Ending the bad boy out. Where all did Corbin and I go? It'll be fun. It'll be all the stuff, all the things. And that is the show. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Thank you to the Peanuts and the Cracker Jacks. And thank you guys for spending the final week of the season with us. You can find Bubba on Twitter at BDentric. Find me at IsItTheWelsh. Until next time, friends, we'll talk to you right here on Leading Off. Peace. Bye-bye.